Hi, I'm Jeff Terrell, Program Director with Fenton Fitness and Athletics Center, and I wanted to sort of introduce this challenge that I'm going to be partaking in, sort of created for myself, the rationale for the challenge, why I'm doing it, what I'm hoping to accomplish with it. So firstly, I've been toying with the idea for a while of like dropping another 15 to 20 pounds. As I said in my intro or origin video I posted last night, I think it's just healthier for me. My blood pressure, heart rate, I think, are better at a lighter body weight, easier on my joints. I actually think I perform better powerlifting, get a better Wilks score at a lighter and leaner body weight. And so I've been toying around with the idea for a while. I toyed with the idea of actually getting back into the bodybuilding arena and using that as sort of a motivation and end date. But I really don't want to be that extreme with it. I don't want to get down to that low body fat percentage, especially like I said before, that in the past historically for me has led to sort of yo-yo dieting up and down, and I want to take a much more gradual approach, get down to, like I said, my initial weigh-in last night had me at 204 pounds. That was after the weekend of eating and stuff, post nationals and everything, but I want to get down to 185 and then just see if I can maintain, between 185 and 190 for the foreseeable next 1, 2, 3 years before I make any changes from there. So that's sort of one of the long-term goals. So we're looking for about 20 pounds of weight loss. That's going to take me, I'm going to shoot for a minimum of 20 weeks, so I'm not losing any more than a pound per week, and up to 40 weeks. So 20 to 40 week, I don't really like using the term diet because diet infers that there's going to be an end to it. But 20 to 40 weeks to improve my body weight and body composition, and then maintain that weight from there on out. So during the course of this initial weight loss period, a couple things I'm going to be incorporating every single day in my daily eating or in my daily diet. A minimum of 1 Kogel hot dog and a minimum of 1 cup of really sugary, highly processed children's cereal. And I'll throw in some other things in there too, but those things will be staples in the diet and the meal plan. And the reason for that is a couple of reasons. Namely, I've been working, I've been in the fitness industry just training myself, eating, trying to improve health performance for almost 2 decades now. I've been working professionally for, it'll be 2018 will be a full decade since I graduated from Western Michigan, and been working with clients on nutrition and training. And in spite of all the research, in spite of all the data, I try to stay up to date as best I can on subscribing to peer-reviewed journals, reading meta-analyses, and staying up to date on what the research says. And in spite of our society, claiming to be enlightened and educated and, caring about science and things like of that nature, there's still a huge lack of knowledge and understanding of basic nutritional principles. The most basic of which is energy balance. At the end of the day, weight loss comes down to an energy deficit, consuming less total calories. Weight gain comes down to an energy surplus, consuming excess calories. I don't care what the composition of those meals are. If you're gaining weight, especially if your BMI is over 25, it's inherently going to decrease your health. If you are losing weight, and if you're losing weight, especially if your BMI is over 20, then in most cases your health is going to improve. So I will be losing roughly 20 pounds over the next 20 to 40 weeks, but I'm going to be eating wholesome, good food, nutritious food, but I want to make sure to include some things that people think you can't have or that get a really bad reputation. So processed meat, picked Kogel because they're a local company. One of our programming clients actually works for Kogel, and we've had lots of conversations about sort of the bad rap that processed meats, hot dogs, nitrates, all those things that people get all scared about. Kid cereal, it's high in carbohydrates, it's very processed, lots of added sugar. Another thing that people chronically think you can't have or that's going to set you back or ruin your goals. So that's sort of the main thing. I want to include animal products. I want to include dairy. I want to include gluten. I want to include processed meats. And I'll include fruits and vegetables and lean proteins and fish oil and good healthy stuff too. But I just want to sort of prove a point that you can include all these different things and still lose weight and still reach your fitness goals. So that's I'll give a little more detail on each week as this challenge goes on. But that's sort of the thought process behind everything. Each week I will post somewhere between Sunday and Tuesday the weekly weigh-in, blood pressure numbers, body fat percentage numbers, resting heart rate numbers. Those would sort of be my rough health metrics. I'll get my annual physical at the end once I get down to the 185 pounds, and I'll release blood test results too, just so people can see what those markers are too. Now, in all fairness, this is not a scientific experiment. True experiments have tight controls. You only look at one variable at a time, but there's tons of that already exists, and people seem to ignore it. They seem to be more interested in anecdotal evidence, what moms post on their mom blogs, what the weekend certified trainer post, as a celebrity trainer post or athlete post about nutrition. These people tend to have more credibility than peer-reviewed journals and actual good research that's tightly controlled. So since people seem to want to ignore tightly controlled, well-done research, I figure I'll throw my hand to the ring with the anecdotal evidence. People can follow along if they'd like and sort of see how things turn out. On top of the health markers that I'll be tracking, I'm also going to be tracking some performance metrics. So I'm going to pick some movements that I don't typically do. It's not really fair that, for as long as I've been trained, if I, were to track my squat or deadlift or bench press, those are numbers that, right now over the last 2 or 3 years, I fight to add 5 or 10 pounds to those over the course of a year with as long as I've been doing it. So I'm not going to track those things. I'm going to incorporate some new lifts. So I'm going to track my max one leg squat, my max one leg deadlift, my max pull up, max hang clean, max snatch, and I'll sort of use those as some performance metrics. I might throw in a cardio test there too. I'm doing all my testing this week, so I'll update that at the end of the week here. So we'll be tracking some rough health metrics and as well as some rough performance metrics, and to see if those things improve as this journey continues on. So starting stats, I weighed in and did all my initial health measurements yesterday. Like I said, I weighed 204 pounds on the dot, was at 17.8% body fat through bioelectrical impedance. Resting heart rate was 84 beats per minute, and my starting blood pressure, I'm drawing a blank right now, I want to say it was 138/90. So I'll verify that, but I will update those numbers this next week. If you're interested, just subscribe here and stay along for the weekly updates. Thanks, have a great day.